Welcome to session 2 of biasing in BJT amplifier circuits. In this session, we will see what is this classical discrete circuit bias arrangement. So in the previous sessions, we have studied two circuits where the biasing was given by either fixing VBE or by fixing the base current. But both of the circuits, as they were sensitive to changes in the beta value, they are not preferred in the practical applications. So therefore, here in this session we are going to look at biasing circuit in which the demerits of the previous basic circuits are eliminated. So therefore, here the slide shows you the classical discrete circuit bias arrangement, and the circuit A, okay, it very much resembles the basic circuit except for the emitter resistor RE, okay, and also the RB1 and RB2 are now replaced as R1 and R2 resistors, and then there's a collector resistor RC, as well as now we have the emitter resistor RE also. So now, in order to analyze this circuit, in order to calculate or in order to particularly design, okay, this discrete biasing arrangement, so we need to write some of the circuit equations. So now for that, first we will consider R1 and R2 connection. So at this point you can write the effective voltage, that is this voltage divider bias arrangement, we can reduce it as VBB voltage. Okay, so at this point VBB is equal to VCC into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Okay, so this is known as the Thevenin's equivalent circuit at the base. Now whatever the R1 and R2 connection is there, that can be replaced here by a single resistor RB. So RB is equal to R1 parallel to R2. Now RC and RE are as it is. So IC collector current, IE emitter current, and IB is the base current. So now in order to derive the emitter current equations, so let us write a loop equation for this input part, that is starting from VBB to this RB and this particular loop L. Okay, so therefore considering that circuit, the circuit was like this. We have a VCC and okay, of course now we are writing for the base terminal, so therefore I can now write the equivalent value, that is RB. So next we have the emitter here, which is connected to RE. Okay, so now we need to apply our KVL to this loop, and here it should be considered always the VBE value. Okay, and current that is flowing through this RB will be IB, and current through this RE will be IE. So now we are considering this loop L. So therefore, applying KVL, I can write that this VBB voltage will be equal to IB into RB plus VBE, then plus IE into RE. Okay, so let us take this VBE on the other side, so that I can write only the IB into RB product plus IE into RE, IE into RE. So now here we have to replace this IB by replacing IB by IE divided by beta plus 1. We are going to get VBB minus VBE equal to, so IB is nothing but now IE divided by beta plus 1 into RB plus IE into RE I have. So therefore now we have the two common terms, that is here IE and here IE. So therefore taking IE as a common factor, we can further reduce the above equation and write only IE on the left side. So therefore the emitter current IE will be now equal to VBB minus VBE as it is divided by, so we have this ratio, that is one is RE and other one is this beta plus 1. So therefore RE plus RB divided by beta plus 1. Okay. So this is what is our emitter current equation. Okay. So for this circuit arrangement, biasing circuit arrangement, our emitter current can be calculated using this expression. So therefore, as a summary here, VBB will be given by R2 by R1 plus R2 into VCC. So if you know the VCC value, R1, R2 values, VBB can be calculated. Similarly, the base resistor RB will be the parallel connection between R1 and R2. The effective resistance we can write there. So we have made this substitution for base current, and finally this is the derived I, that is the emitter current. Now in this particular design, okay, so what is its significance is the emitter current IE is made insensitive to variations in the temperature and the beta values of the transistor. Okay, so by imposing two conditions or the two constraints, that is IE is almost insensitive to the variations either in temperature or the beta values, and that is possible with these two conditions. What are those conditions? So whatever this VBB voltage is there, that is this VBB voltage, it is very much greater when compared to VBE. Okay, VBE we know 0.7 volts. So therefore this VBB is kept at a very much greater value, so that any changes in the VBE will be eliminated by the VBB value only. This is the first condition, first constraint. The second constraint will be on RE value. The emitter resistor RE is very much greater than RB divided by beta plus 1. Okay, so what is the advantage of this constraint is? So the constraint 1, that is VBB very much greater than VBE. It makes any small variations in VBE swamped by very large VBB. That is, the large value of base voltage is going to cover any changes in the VBE values. Okay, so thereby now the circuit is somewhat stable when compared to the previous arrangement where RE was not there. Okay, so therefore in this particular biasing technique, a rule of thumb, design rule is used. What is that design rule is? The value of VBB is chosen as 1/3 of VCC. This is first condition. Similarly, the value of VCB, it is chosen as again 1/3 of the VCC. Similarly, the value of IC into RC, okay, it is again chosen as 1/3 of VCC. Okay, so therefore whatever the VCC you apply, it is supposed to be distributed in this particular ratio. So 1/3 of VCC at VBB, 1/3 of VCC at VCB, and 1/3 of VCC across IC and RC. So this is the design rule. Now constraint 2, what was that second constraint? RE very much greater than RB divided by beta plus 1. Okay, so what is the significance of this constraint? Okay, so this constraint 2 makes the emitter current insensitive to the variations of beta values. Okay, and that is achieved by choosing a small RB value. So these are all the design settings. Okay, so in order to make the emitter current insensitive to variations. Okay, so how to get this small value of RB? Okay, so now the small RB is achieved by using low values of R1 and R2 resistors, and also whatever this emitter resistor is there, RE. Okay, so this is particularly used to stabilize the bias currents by providing a negative feedback to the circuit. Okay, so therefore In the earlier basic two circuits that was discussed in session 1, we have seen that small variations in VBE value as well as IB value used to shift the DC bias point. But now by employing the emitter resistor RE, okay, so much more stabilization is provided to the bias currents through the feedback arrangement. So now let us take one design example. So where we are supposed to design a biasing arrangement as we have just discussed. So here certain conditions are given. Let us take, okay. So let our VCC, given VCC value will be 12 volts, and we want to establish an emitter current IE of 1 milliamperes. Okay, and the transistor beta is given as 100. Okay, so with these values we are asked to design a voltage divider biasing circuit in order to bias the amplifier. So now in this type of design problems, okay, so we will just go on calculating the different node voltages as well as the currents. That is, the main current is here IE we have to calculate, that is emitter current IE we have to calculate. Okay, so therefore the solution, so first our intention is to calculate the VB, so VB or VBB. Okay, so what we have used as a design rule is 1/3 of the VCC. Okay, so 1/3 of VCC should fall at VB. So therefore 1/3 of VCC is 12. So therefore VB is considered as 4 volts. VB is considered as 4 volts. Okay, so now once VB is available, now we can calculate what is the emitter voltage, VE. Okay, so at emitter terminal we can write VE as simply VB minus VBE value. Okay, so therefore it is 4 minus, assume that VBE value is 0.7 volts, so therefore this will be 3.3 volts. So this is the emitter voltage VE. So then next we will calculate the resistor RE. So always the circuit should be in mind. What we have, the basic circuit arrangement, there is a R1 resistor, R2 resistor, RC resistor, RE resistor. Okay, and we know this VBE as well as the VBB. Okay, so now this VBB only we have just calculated as 4 volts. Okay, so at the emitter point we are calculating the VE as the difference between that 4 volt and 0.7 volts. Okay, so therefore continuing the problem, VE is equal to 3.3 volts. So therefore now you can determine the RE value. Okay, so RE will be simply equal to VE divided by IE. Okay, so you can consider these are the design equations. So 3.3 volts divided by IE, it is given in the problem that IE of 1 milliampere needs to be achieved. So therefore this will be equal to 3.3 kilo ohms. Okay, so therefore in our circuit RE value is equal to 3.3 kilo ohms. And one more design consideration in this is we have to select a voltage divider current of equal to 0.1 IE. This is also one of the design rule. Okay, so voltage divider current of 0.1 IE is considered, that is equal to 0.1 into IE is 1 milliamperes, so that is equal to 0.1 milliamperes. Okay, so therefore now we can find the R1 and R2 values as R1 plus R2 equal to that VCC 12 volts divided by 0.1 milliamperes. So that is again equal to 120 kilo ohms. Okay, so uh, this is nothing but R1 plus R2 total resistance value. So now once R1 plus R2 value is calculated, now we can write that we know that R2 divided by R1 plus R2 into VCC is nothing but actually what it is equal to VBB. Now in this problem VBB is equal to 4 volts. Okay, now using this relation, now it is possible to deduce R1 and R2 values here. Okay, so therefore we also know that R1 plus R2 value is equal to 120 kilo ohms into VCC is equal to 12 volts. This is equal to 4 volts. This is equal to 4 volts. Okay, so by simplifying this is going to give us the R2 value as 40 kilo ohms and R1 value as 80 kilo ohms. Okay, so once R1 and R2 values are there, next now we can find the emitter current IE. Okay, so therefore IE already we have derived the equation. IE is given as VBB minus VBE, okay, divided by RE plus RB by beta plus 1. Okay, so our beta in the problem it is given as 100, so beta plus 1 will be 101. And what is this RB now? So RBB is nothing but the parallel combination R1 and R2, that is 80 kilo ohm in parallel with the 40 kilo ohm. Okay, so substituting all this, VBB will be equal to 4 volt minus VB is equal to 0.7 volt. This divided by RE just now calculated, that is 3.3 kilo ohm plus, so RB value will be equal to 26.67 kilo ohms. You can just simplify and write 80 parallel with the 40 kilo ohms divided by this 101. You are going to get in kilo ohms. Okay, so simplifying this, okay, so of course you can calculate this value. This value is going to be some 26.6 kilo ohms. Okay, and that will be divided by 101. So further simplification will give us the emitter current IE as 0.93 milliamperes. 0.93 milliamperes. Okay, so now once we have IE, we can calculate the collector resistor RC. Okay, so RC is given by the equation what is that, VCC minus VC divided by IC. Okay, so therefore RC will be equal to, VCC is 12 volts minus, so now what is this VC? Okay, so just recall the circuit we have at the collector, then this is the RC value. Next what we have is the remaining part of the circuit, this RE connected to ground. Okay, so this is where we are going to get the VC. Okay, so now here across RC 1/3 of the VCC will drop, that is 4 volts. So from this point remaining 8 volts is available. Okay, so therefore VC is considered as 8 volts. This is divided by, so IC. Okay, we have to write the relation for IC. So we know that IC is nothing but it is alpha into IE always. So alpha value is always less than 1, like 0.99 into whatever the emitter current just now we have calculated, that is 0.93 milliamperes. 0.93 milliamperes. Okay, so from this we can write what is the total collector current value, it will be approximately first we have to write IC. First we have to find out the collector current IC. Okay, so this 0.99 approximately we can write it as 1. So IC will be almost equal to 0.93 milliamperes, or it will be approximately 1 milliamperes. So we can now write the RC value as 12 minus 8 by 1 milliamperes, that is equal to 4 kilo ohms. 4 kilo ohms. Okay, so or you can just substitute 0.93 only. So in that case we are going to get 12 minus 8, 4 divided by 0.93, so it will be almost 4.3 kilo ohms. Okay, so that approximation and all you can do. So this is what is the design procedure. Okay, so therefore in case of this biasing arrangement, so what are the steps? So first we need to calculate the VBB value. Next we need to calculate VE value. Next we have to calculate RE value. Okay, so next you have to calculate R1 plus R2, so that will be equal to VCC by 0.1 milliamperes, this resistor. Using this you can further design R1 and R2 values. Okay, so once R1 R2 values are ready, next you can calculate what is this emitter current IE. Next we can compute what is this IC by using IC equal to alpha into IE, and once IC is known, we can now directly calculate RC as VCC minus that VC divided by IC value. Okay, so that now we have all the values in the circuit: R1, R2, RE as well as RC. Okay, so therefore the design is nothing but finding all the biasing resistors in the circuit. Okay, so therefore in the next session we will continue with the next biasing arrangement circuit. Thank you.